Carrying the pleasantly heavy weight of accomplishment, I still remember the following morning with vivid clarity. I recall waking up, a surging feeling of gratitude kindling the light within me. With my eyes still closed, I took a moment to meditate, to soak in the appreciation I had for life and its sweet, unforeseen mysteries. I remember embracing the lingering remnants of last night's triumph, the pulsing adulation wrapped in thunderous applause, affirming the artist I was becoming. I caught my reflection in the dorm room mirror, and my eyes met a familiar yet transformed gaze. A girl growing up, her French-Korean heritage coalesced successfully into her soul and persona. I was this multicultural canvas painted with the colors of determination, passion, and resilience, etching the path of my journey onto the world stage. The morning was radiant, mirroring my heart's color palette, full of vivid hues of joy and excitement. The sunlight seeped through the blinds, casting streaks of warmth across the soft floral pillow cover my mother had gifted me. I remember noticing how it was starting to fade a little around the edges, and yet its comforting familiarity was a gentle reminder of the colors and textiles of my mixed heritage. It was a piece of home, my two homes, Korean in its delicate artistry melded with the vibrant colors of flowers typically grown in the French countryside. It was in that moment of reflection I made my commitment. The fierce dedication, persistent sweat, and relentless practice, each sparked by the love for both my cultures, were now directing me towards my ultimate goal. I was ready to carry the weight of the struggle, to bear the outcomes of the path I had chosen, and I must admit I was pretty elated. Slowly, with a subtle sigh and a tint of melancholy, I grazed my fingers over the collage of pictures strung across the dorm wall. My photographs, moments etched in time, my memories tracing my journey from Lyon to Seoul. The nostalgia of summer evenings in France danced playfully with the bright hustle of Seoul mornings. Each frame was a step towards my dream, and I was the story of two cultures colliding and blossoming into an artist, me, Chloé. That day, the feelings whirling within me were a curious blend of nostalgia and anticipated excitement. The profoundness of my journey so far, intertwined with the promise of the path ahead of me, made me smile. An inexplicable excitement tugged at my heart. My journey to becoming a K-pop trainee was about to begin. Armed with my fresh memories of the vibrant Seoul Lotus Lantern Festival, having savored the harmonious dance of tradition and modernity, I headed towards the dance studio. Absorbed in the rhythm of the city, I found myself humming a melody, an improvised synthesis of French soul and Korean pop that wove in and out of my mind. It was pure, raw, and real, and it showed me a glimpse of the artist I aspired to be. Upon reaching the dance studio, a quaint little hub bustling with aspiring artists like myself, I felt an unexpected surge of inspiration. Suddenly, a blend of verses flooded my mind, a harmonious merging of Korean phrases intertwined with expressions enriched with French finesse. It was then I realized that I was writing my first song in Korean, the language that a while ago was nothing more than an ethno-linguistic enigma to me. The realization struck me with a sense of achievement and euphoria. The melody was naturally Korean, flowing in the soulful rhythms of K-pop, but the spirit was coyly French, a reminiscence of mellow Parisian afternoons by the Seine. Each verse I wrote felt like an exploratory dive into the depths of my soul where my roots resided. The French part of me swooned in the nostalgic memories of home while the Korean part was eager to be recognized. An enchanting harmony of my two cultures was being constructed right before my eyes, and the fruit of this fusion was an authentic expression of my multicultural roots. It was a song from my heart, a reflection of the French-Korean confluence in my identity, echoing the rhythm of my journey, my dreams. Ironically, the experience felt like cooking a dish, a taste of my French-Korean identity engulfed in a melody. As I continued writing, I felt a familiar sense of nurture, as when baking madeleines with Papa, kneading the dough till it's just right and patiently waiting for it to rise. The rhythm and pacing of the Korean verses were reminiscent of Mama teaching me to fold dumplings. Each folded verse, each careful crease in the language felt like the perfect blend of both my worlds. My notebook grew colored with thoughts and ideas. A mix of Korean and French graced the pages, indicating the successful birth of a song that perfectly represented me, Chloé, the French girl who was immersing herself in the depths of Korean culture and arts. While the identities seemed different, they met harmoniously, and gave birth to this song, a song mirrored from the canvas of my life. Today, to me, it was not just a song. It was a personal milestone, a symbol of my growth. It was Chloe's first song in Korean. With the shimmering confidence of that day's encounter with the Seoul's Lantern Festival still brimming in my soul, I entered Jin-ho's room to break the news, my voice steady yet laced with a reluctant sorrow. "Jin-ho," I began, our eyes interlocked in an understanding silence. "We need to talk." It was pivotal, like ripping off a bandage, quick but lingering with a baffling blend of pain and relief. I had to let him go, clear my mind from the whirlwinds of romance to let my journey to stardom take its due course. Listening to my explanation, Jin-ho held my hand firmly, his eyes mobile under the weight of emotions, and in that moment, I knew he understood. He knew the path I had chosen, the path to carve out my identity in the sonorous world of K-pop, required tougher decisions, and this was one of them. However, it came at the cost of weeding out certain parts of my life, including the warmth of Jin-ho's unwavering affection. "I understand, Chloé," he whispered, and silence ensued, filling in the gaps left unfilled by my unexpressed feelings. Our relationship, once reflecting sunlight in the mirror of my Korean story, was now being replaced by the hard-edged crystal of ambition. When he walked me to the door, brushing my hair back one last time, I knew we had parted not in animosity but sheer understanding. We still had a world to conquer, he as a scholar and I as a budding artist in the pulsating heart of K-pop. But for now, we had to let go and march towards our separate dreams. A dreadful sense of loneliness struck me, sinking in the truth of his absence, but enveloped within it was a pinch of liberation, a freedom to weave my own tale without any emotional shackles holding me back. I had made a tough choice. I had prioritized my career, my dream over a blooming relationship, and while it filled me with a strange sense of accomplishment, it also forced me to ponder, was it the inevitable cost of seeking my dreams? Nonetheless, I permitted myself to absorb and embrace the change. I stretched a smile, appreciating the silence bringing a new rhythm to my life. A rhythm too quiet to dance to, but just perfect enough to tune my mind towards the melody of my dreams. The gentle flicker of resolve rekindled in my eyes, believing that this decision, although painful, was crucial for the road ahead. The road was bumpy, the ride would be tough, but dare I say, I was ready to embark on a new journey. The journey towards my dreams, my ambitions, my raison d'être, becoming the K-pop artist I had desired to be. Before I could even gulp down the sodium-cloaked sense of loneliness, a rustling on my door brought me back to reality. Thumped onto my door was a small heart-shaped box, whipped in delicate red ribbons, looking sorely out of place against the stark ivory paint. "Happy Valentine's, Chloé," it read in a stylized handwriting, signed off with a question mark. For a moment, curiosity was heavier than my muddled emotions, pulling at the corners of my lips as I went to unwrap the mystery parcel. Inside was a bounty of assorted chocolates, shaped like musical notes in French miniatures, definitely a charming effort to paint a smile on my face. The mystery of the admirer was slyly lurking in between layers of curiosity, throwing my journalistic instincts into action as my suspicion boiled down to pinpointing the sender. Was it Minseo, the gentle trainee who always had a soft corner for me? Or maybe it was Hyejin, my go-to person for emotional support. In this meandering corporate world of grinding gears and dreams, terming these gestures as unusual would be surreal, yet waking up to such affectionate surprises was like stopping for a breath in the marathon. As the shimmering foil reflected on my hopeful face, the warm, melty scent of cocoa engulfing me, I recalled the romantic hues of Valentine's Day across Nippy Lion. Streets filled with teenagers exchanging roses, storefronts of patisseries lavish with love-themed delicacies, and lovebirds strolling hand-in-hand around the park, these memories felt like ages ago. The chocolate seemingly melted my homesickness, offering a bittersweet blend of reminiscence and reassurance. I pushed that red shimmer of confusion aside, reminding myself that the key to being an idol was not only to inspire, but to be worthy of others' affection and respect. What mattered then and now was my journey to the stage, to dance like there was no tomorrow, to stretch my vocal cords to their limits, to perform to my ultimate potential and create waves in K-pop that transcended music, culture, and emotions. While I had just bid adieu to a chapter of my life, a sweet tint of the remnants was still in the air, reminding me of the plethora of emotions I had experienced. Love, friendship, joy, sorrow, ambition, and loneliness, each acting like intertwining branches of an ever-growing tree, nurturing my evolution into a better artist. And the unnamed admirer somehow seemed to highlight exactly that. Despite the hardships and sacrifices, my journey wasn't a solitary one, as there were these pockets of warmth reminding me that I was not alone, that the dreams I was chasing were not just mine, but shared with silent supporters who wished to see me succeed. Closing my eyes, I sank into the longest exhale, allowing the silken chocolate piece to lie on my tongue, melting slowly, cocooned by the warmth. The bittersweet concoction coiled with my taste buds, thickening like molasses as my senses retreated into the yesteryears. A nostalgia-laden gust of lion filled my apartment in Seoul, teasingly brushing with the memories of heart-shaped tarts and cream-filled croissants, aromas entwined with love and childhood. Pastry bags, sugar-streaked countertops, puffs of flour, and father's laughter wafting in the air, our kitchen transformed into a Parisian confectionery on every Valentine's Day. My fingers traced the petite Eiffel Tower embossed on the chocolate, prompting the echo of a promise made to a 16-year-old version of me, shouting at the top of my lungs from the pinnacle of the steel titan, proclaiming my future success. A promise carved in steel and sealed with a delicate touch of teenage audacity, fluttering between youthful dreams and the promise of futures yet decided. I remembered the chill of the wind on my face, the sprawling cityscape beneath, and the feeling of infinite potential. Days speckled with splatters of paint and dance rehearsals, tangled between my schoolwork and voice lessons, gradually became a kaleidoscope of moments that shaped my unyielding personality. Each memory serving as a vibrant petal in the blooming flower of my journey, painting a portrait of resilience in the face of adversity. My art evolving as I did. Lines grew sharper, strokes got bolder, rhythm fell into step with the beat of my life. My life might have been away from family, but the essence of Lyon was never far from home. Back in Lyon, every Valentine's was a quirk-riddled bundle of laughter and smiles, tinged with the scent of the roses we planted, my father humming La Vie en Rose like a yearly ritual. Somehow, the hurdles faced thousands of miles away in Seoul seemed minuscule in comparison to the gravity of leaving behind beloved traditions. Yet, even as the harsh reality of rigorous trainee life gnawed away at my spirit, these remnants of home worked like threads of a safety net, veiling my perspective against the harshness of my reality. Sudden, anonymous acts of kindness somehow managed to root me to the soil of my upbringing, no matter how far I venture from those belonging streets and familiar faces. The Valentine's mystery turned into a charming riddle, a playful whisper of encouragement, honoring the unwavering part of me that, despite the fear and fatigue, continued to strive for her dreams with grace. Tomorrow still held worries, but armed with the taste of home and the warmth of an anonymous friend's regard, it felt a little less daunting. Maybe, even in Seoul, I could paint a perfect heart-shaped tart, battling away the homesickness with the magic my father taught me. My excitement around the journey that lay ahead couldn't completely overshadow the heaviness that began to weigh on my heart, as I realized taking this next step meant leaving behind the sanctuary I had built here at the university. Packing my bags, I carefully stowed away not just clothes and much-loved trinkets, but a plethora of memories birthed in the tiny corners of my university room. Each knick-knack held snippets of laughter shared, tears shed, and dreams weaved. In every corner, I saw the footprints of friendships forged, my sizable family away from home. There was drama, of course, because where do a group of artists come together without a little bit of flair? But there was also warmth that melted even the coldest winter nights, music that filled silence with rhythmic vibrancy, and a shared empathy that seamlessly stitched us all together in this quilt of diverse artistries. Minseo's eyes held an unspoken conversation as we parted, a mixed bag of shared experiences, some blissful, some painful, shining through the moist glimmer. His parting gift, a beautiful calligraphy set that we had often spotted in the city's many nooks, was his silent assurance of unbroken friendship despite the distance that awaited us. The brushes almost seemed to hold the promise of "see you again," the ink subtly whispering, "let's paint a new chapter." A chapter was ending, but there in the midst of the thumbtacks and poster glue residue on the walls, the odd guitar pick left behind, and the soft singing of the rustling curtains, I saw the genesis of another. The room that had witnessed my journey so far was now a clean canvas, waiting patiently for someone else's story to begin. As the door clicked shut on my university days, the silhouette of a new tomorrow here in Seoul started coming into focus. The familiar chords of excitement, fear, and nostalgia struck once again, tuning the rhythm of my next steps. The dance with uncertainty continued, one twirl at a time. Despite the looming challenges, the best part was that I got to decide the choreography. I remember staring at my packed belongings, a sense of surrealness washing over me, like a dream's hazy edges blending into the harsh lines of reality. I felt a roiling mix of emotions, the bittersweet tug-of-war between the comfort of familiarity and the allure of a mysterious journey ahead. These heavy suitcases were brimming not just with my earthly possessions, but with fragments of my persona, bearing the marks of my evolution, my journey from a French teenager exploring her Asian roots to a determined trainee aiming for the K-pop stars. As my gaze wandered around the room one last time, falling on the divider wall we had graffitied during a late-night jamming sessions, I felt a lump in my throat. Gone were the color-coded schedules, the worn-out vocabulary lists clinging to the whiteboard, the magnets we collected from every new place we explored in Seoul, a shell of the frenetic life we had lived within these walls. Every little knick-knack, that tiny Lucky Charm Seoyeon gave me for my first performance, those birthday bunting we never bothered to take down, bore traces of a journey beautifully shared, invariably connecting me to people who had become my family. My bed, where we had spent countless nights pitching song ideas or just exchanging childhood stories while nursing steaming cups of Korean tea, seemed terribly bare without the usual clutter. Elsewhere in the room, the curtains fluttered gently as if waving a silent goodbye. I couldn't help but laugh, recalling the day we turned the room into a makeshift yoga studio, me leading the impromptu session as my friends stumbled and giggled, trying to mimic the poses. I couldn't help but touch the empty hooks where once hung the myriad Polaroids with my friends, each picture capturing a moment we had immortalized in our hearts. A flutter of musings brushed across my mind, memories that seemed as fresh as the morning dew, deceptive of the passage of time. This very spot, my home away from home, was a constant witness to the tides of change, a testament of our dazzling journey under the K-pop galaxies. But amidst this poignant silence, there was also an undercurrent of excitement, a fluttering anticipation about what lay ahead. The mystical universe of K-pop, where stars are born out of dreams, awaited me. The echoes of memories in the room were now merging with the vibrant rhythm of the future, the melody of an old chapter blending with the beats of a new one about to unfold. As I stepped out, ready to embrace my new journey, the hush of the hallway seemed to reverberate with the verses of a melody yet to be written and a song yet to be sung. Funny how life has a way of surprising you. Just when you think you found your footing, it presents you with a new dance floor.